Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hi, welcome back, everyone. We have gotten some great stories from this gentleman, courtesy of his creation, and that's a wonderful children's book called Jack Sprout in Beaver Creek Meadow. And when we've gotten together with the author, he's taken us chapter by chapter in the stories of what's happening in this meadow with a bunch of different characters. What makes this book radically different is that it's characters that your kids can not only love, but learn from, whether it be animals or the situations and how they all interact. And we finished the book last time we got together. Now we're off into something brand new with Jack Wayne Shoop, the author of Jack Sprout, and so much more. He's back with us, our professional of the year. How's it going, Jack?
Yeah, it's doing great, Steve. Good to be with you.
Yeah, good to have you back here. And what we're talking about today is what I call it the next book.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, what we got here today is I read the last chapter of Jack Sprout and Beaver Creek Meadow last week when he had Honeybee come live with him. And now this is a continuation of Beaver Creek Meadow. And it's kind of more of a fantasy adventure. The last story I think could really happen. This is more of an adventure fantasy, if you will. But it's a takeoff, and it's the next stage. You know what I mean? It's the what they call those franchise. Next step in the franchise of Jack Sprout. So I'm going to explain. I'm going to talk about. He was frustrated, and I'll just go into it.
Got it. Okay. So and I remember you telling me last time we got together that there are some changes to the to the Meadow family, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, some new things going on here. Where does this one take place?
Well, this one is in Beaver Creek Meadow, but the title is A New Look into an Old World. So Jack is basically he's frustrated. Everything's perfect. Everything's perfect in Beaver Creek Meadow, but he's frustrated that he thinks he needs to learn more. So he goes off into the ocean, into the wild beyond, and he finds this new land, and that's the story.
Hmm.
He learns there, and then he comes back and tells Beaver Creek Meadow how they can be better and have more fun and help nature. So.
I have lots of questions, but I'm not going to ask any because if I do, it's going to start revealing the story. So I'm just going to, Steve, shut up.
Okay.
So,
let me let me go into it, and just so you know, the folks at home there, I haven't had this edited. I just wrote it. As I told you earlier, the guy who invented hydroflaps, Travis Rorschbach, he likes what I'm doing. And he said, you need to write an adventure story. I go, I never thought of that. So this is I just wrote this, and this hasn't been highly edited or anything. So I might have some rough edges, but this is a first read for all you guys that like first edition. So
I think it's kind of exciting. You know, it's raw coming from you, and it's like different look. So we call this chapter 1.
Yeah, I really haven't broken into chapters yet, but I'm going to read the first 5 pages of the manuscript, and it's 25. And I think we're going to be reading until September. So I think if I read 5 pages every time, it'll work out great.
Gotcha. Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, this is a continuation of Jack Sprout and Beaver Creek Meadow. It's called A New Look into an Old World. Hi, I'm Jack Sprout. In my first book, Jack Sprout in Beaver Creek Meadow, I wrote about how our beautiful high mountain meadow community was formed. My neighbors and I have now settled into our farms and homes and mills. We each work with a different part of nature to keep our meadow home clean, clear, and growing. In this story, I'll tell you what's happening now. I'm very happy with my new life here on my farm just south of the Beaver Creek Meadow. Honeybee and I used to talk on my porch for hours and hours after my farm chores were done. She felt it was time to have her own house, however. So there you go. We all came together and had a tree house raising. Honeybee picked out a tall elm tree with long branches on the southeast corner of my farm. After it was built, we moved her bird cage to the elm tree so she'd be safe when she slept. She still comes to talk and sing on my porch, but she has her own home now. I've realized that the adventures that I have been getting my farm together has been the exciting part of my life so far. It was way more exciting than the work I'm doing now, just to keep what I built in good shape. Now that everything was finished, my life seemed to slow down. Every day I take care of my plants and greenhouses and wells and everything else it takes to keep my farm running smoothly. I don't want Red-tailed McAllister coming around complaining about my weeds ever again. My interaction with my neighbors has changed too. They're always busy doing what they need to do to keep their farms and mills going. They can't just stop and visit with me every time I show up at their home. Routine is the word I'm looking for. Everything has become a routine. That's great though, because to keep a meadow clean, green, and growing, certain things need to be done every day. I'm a sunflower sprout, but I have eyes, ears, a nose, a mouth, and arms and legs. I can understand animals and can read the vibrations of plants' roots as I walk along. Since I've come from the earth, I know more about how the animals, plants, and natural surroundings work together than any of my neighbors. I can look into the future and see how things need to be and what changes are ahead of us. I love Beaver Creek Meadow and enjoy all of my neighbors, but I'm getting restless. I need a new adventure. I had no idea what this new adventure should be. I asked around the meadow to see if anyone had any ideas. Almost everyone I asked, though, thought I was crazy. Why would you ever leave Beaver Creek Meadow? They asked. You were born here and have helped make it a beautiful place to live. No one wants to leave. It's a perfect place to call home. Well, this wasn't helping because they were right. Why would anyone want to leave Beaver Creek Meadow? I realized that my neighbors were saying and went home to my porch to think for a while. Maybe going away for an adventure was not the right thing to do. I thought back of my time growing up in Farmer Smith's sunflower field and all that I had learned about plants and nature. I took a couple days off of farming and walked all over Beaver Creek Meadow, the surrounding forests and woods. I camped near High Mountain Harry's Cave and could see all the way to Rooster Russell's Coloco Bayou. What a magnificent view and what a magnificent land. No place could ever be this wonderful. What was I thinking to leave here and go on an adventure? I forgot about that idea and continued on my way of life as a new farmer. I continued with my farming and all the routines that I had established. My neighbors were glad that I had dropped my foolish adventure idea. But once you start thinking about something, especially a major event as an adventure, it really never leaves your mind. Now and then I would think about going on an adventure and about how routine my life had become. It wasn't as exciting as before because everything I was doing, I had already done. Nothing new needed to be discovered. Sure, the weather was always changing and problems appeared here and there, but nothing major I couldn't handle. I started thinking about that adventure again. This time I went to see Pierre Latroupe because he was always thinking of new ways to make the meadow work better. I wanted my adventure to be about nature and making sure we always kept it strong and healthy. I've learned by now that a strong and healthy natural environment is what makes life a success. I told Pierre my plans to learn more about nature, and he seemed interested. He knew that I was serious because I was always asking him questions. Well, Jack Sprout, he said, that's a big change in your life. Can you be away from your farm for a long time? You never know where an adventure will take you. What if you get lost or injured or worse? You're taking a big chance, and Beaver Creek Meadow needs you. I can find someone to watch my farm, I offered. I've got it all planted. I'll bet Rapid Fire can do it. He's a good worker, and he needs the food to feed a large family. Besides, this adventure idea won't leave my mind. It must be something that I must do. Maybe I'll discover something new that'll help Beaver Creek Meadow even more. Never thought of that, said Pierre. I won't stop you. If I can help in any way, just ask. I wouldn't go alone, though. I wouldn't go alone, though. Not every place is as friendly or safe as Beaver Creek Meadow. I'd go, excuse me, I'd go with you, but Delight needs me to eat all the bacon she does. Besides, the power I generate here at Pierre Loutreu's power paddle keeps the metal humming. I'm very important too. Okay, well, at least you don't think I'm crazy, I said. I never said that, answered Pierre. I was more encouraged now that at least one neighbor thought I should go on an adventure. Pierre was right, I shouldn't go alone. Too many things could go wrong, but if things did go right, I'd want someone to see what I saw. I went back to my thinking porch to determine to find out which friend I wanted to ask to go with me on my adventure of a lifetime. There are plenty of friends here in Beaver Creek Meadow. The thing is, though, everyone has an important job in keeping the meadow clean, clear, and growing. I needed to find one that could get away for a while, and for who knows how long. There's the artist Cobley. He takes off whenever he wants anyway. But he's a daydreamer like me, and two daydreamers on a trip together might not be a good idea. Pete Jaggers liked to be up late at night, so I wasn't too sure about him. I knew the best one to ask, but his job couldn't be shut down. Captain Barry was the guy. That big old bear is good company, and I could hold his own if we ran into trouble. He knows how to set up camps and prepare food. Of course, he knows how to navigate streams, rivers, and the high seas. He's big, strong, and fast, too. He'll also tell good campfire stories and captain jokes. Most of all, he knows where to find the best berry patches. I had to give it a try and ask him to go. I went over to his dock on Beaver Creek. Hi, Captain Barry. What's going on today? I asked. Just cleaning my nets, he answered. What's up with you, Jack Sprout? You'd better sit down. I got a whopper for you. Okay, I'm anchored. Fire away. I told him about my dreams and the adventure idea that just would not leave my mind. I said he was the best choice to go with me, and I told him all the reasons why. Well, I'm flattered you think that much of me, Jack Sprout. I know you're a dreamer, but I also like adventures. Sounds good to me. When I take a vacation, Oliver Otter comes upstream to my dock and runs my boats. He needs to keep up on what's going on in the meadow, prairie, woods, and forests anyway. Let me know when you're ready, and I'll send for him. He'll have another shore patrol lifeguard otter named Ollie watch his section of the shoreline. Hey, where are we going anyway? That's a good question, I said. A very, very good question. Usually ideas come to me when I least expect them. I may be walking through the woods, planting my crops, or sitting on my porch. I've had them pop up when I'm swimming on a boat or with Pete Jaggers exploring the desert night. I thought an adventure idea would come to me sooner or later, so I just waited. A few months went by, and I still had no clue as what I needed to explore. I went to Captain Barry Dock, and we took a ride down Big River on his tugboat named Tobe. I told him that I was coming up blank for an adventure idea. Well, Jack Sprouty boasted, I bet I can come up with something. I'm a captain, and we're always in charge. I've been everywhere and have seen a few things. First, I need to know what you're trying to figure out. Are you trying to save the world? Find the meaning in life? Discover new minerals? The fountain of youth? What do you want now, this new adventure of yours? No, none of that, I said. I want to know how to take better care of Beaver Creek Meadow and help it survive any struggles that may come along. I like life and living and want others to enjoy it too. I know that when nature is alive and growing, every other living thing is happy also. So maybe we should go find out how this nature thing got started, where it's headed, and how to help it. Wow, you sure think big, Jack Sprout. You're always thinking of how everything works together. I like the way you help make us animals and our environment come together for the better. When we help each other, everyone wins. It's work, but it's fun. I was born a sunflower, I said. I can't help but see life in two different views. I'm one of a kind, remember? Okay, then, said Captain Barry, let's start daydreaming of a place to go. We'll just let Tobe drift for a while. We kept drifting down Big River until we came to the shoreline where Oliver Otter usually patrols. Sitting next to Oliver was his otter friend, Ollie. She was learning the tricks of shore patrolling. We said hello and told them what we were doing. Well, you both already know everything that goes on around here. Maybe you should go out into the high seas, suggests Oliver. Plenty of questions and answers out there. Plus, there are plenty of islands to stop at for rest and fresh water. Sounds like a plan, we said. Thanks, Oliver. That's just what we'll do. There's just a couple of things we need to take care of first, said Captain Barry. What's that? Asked Oliver. I'll need to have someone watch my docks, and Jack here will need someone to take care of his farm. We don't even know how long we'll be gone. Heck, I'll go out and watch over your docks, offered Oliver. I need to see what's going on up there anyway. Ollie can take care of my shore patrolling duties here. She's learning really fast. Gee, thanks, said Ollie. I'll take good care of your beach, Oliver. I'll take Toad back to your dock, said Oliver. I'll tell Kiddet to have rapid fire watch over Jack's farm while he's gone. You okay with that? I said. He makes my deliveries anyway, and all my crops are already planted. Great, said Captain Barry. I have my cabin cruiser docked at the jetty right over here. I use it when I go cruising on the open seas. We can eat and sleep on it and be gone for as long as we need to. I got the spring wound tight. So off we went, just like that. Looks like the adventure is happening. You hanging in there? How we going so far?
We're fine.
Okay.
I have some questions, but we're going to get to those.
Okay. All right. Yeah, there's probably a lot of questions. So looks like the adventure is happening. This is all new to me. First I noticed was my tummy. I wasn't feeling too good. Captain Barry said to put my head over the starboard side into the breeze and deep breathe. He had lots of landlubbers on his journeys. We steered towards the sun and just cruised along slowly. It's kind of fun heading somewhere not knowing really where you're going. Just two friends trusting each other to be safe and to be ready for whatever happens, good or bad. As the sun was setting, we prepared for nighttime. We were too far from any dry land and too deep for anchor, so we drifted in place all night. We took turns on watch. We were far from any shore waves, but it was still the sea. We rocked and rolled all night. That was an adventure just in itself. As we woke the next morning, we discovered what we had drifted to the north. It was still warm, even balmy, but it felt different. More energy in the air and clear waters. The sky and clouds were colorful with orange and red streaks. Something was calling us, or so we thought. When you're out looking for something, sometimes you think it's looking for you too. That happened to me when I was searching for honeybee, remember? We were getting goosebumps and were nervous but excited. I'm sure I chose Captain Barry. He's always keeps a firm paw on the steering wheel and compass. Then a crazy thing happened. The directional arm of the compass started spinning around and around super fast. After a couple of minutes, it just fell off. It broke without us even touching it. That was weird. Not even Captain Barry had experienced that before. The North Pole at the top of the planet was the guide for the mercury that made the compass work. We knew that the North Pole was still there. We hoped. But what could this mean? We took the cruiser out of gear and coasted. No sense of hurrying when you don't know where you are or where you're going, right? Even though we didn't know where we were going, we had faith in nature would take care of us. We were, after all, on an adventure to find out how nature was put together. And now we had some very important questions. The sun was still up, so we knew where west was. Captain Barry said the winds came out of the northwest in this part of the planet. We'd been watching the sea currents all day heading back toward the shore near Beaver Creek Meadow. So by the sun, the wind, and the sea currents, we knew where we were. We steered west, northwest, hoping to find an isthmus, island, another continent, anything with a tree on it. We kept cruising with confidence until the sun started to set on the horizon. We had noticed a few cormorants and a few of the shag seabirds flying around, so we knew land must be close. Birds can travel long distances when they're migrating, but they usually stay close to home, close to their nests. Through our telescope, we could see a gray haze, some type of fog, about 3 nautical miles off the port side. That usually meant vegetation, and that meant land. We slowly headed that way. As we approached what appeared to be a sandy shoreline, we were well aware of our surroundings. Yes, nature could take care of us, but we couldn't be foolish either. You have to take care of yourself first, then nature will help you. We couldn't be careless and expect everything to go smoothly. Since we had never been to these shores before, we didn't know about the seafloor beneath the beach. There's usually some type of reef form near a shore, such as different forms of coral lining their bottom. Coral can be pretty nasty if it scrapes the bottom of a boat, so we were very careful. Besides, coral reefs are living creatures and form a home environment for other creatures such as lobsters, clams, seahorses, sponges, sea turtles, and of course, fish. Never harm coral if you're ever close, okay? Other types of reefs can be formed with driftwood, rocks, seaweed, other forms of life, or anything tides and waves have brought with them. Not knowing what lies ahead with always cause for caution. Anytime, anywhere, no matter who you are. The sunlight was disappearing, and we weren't sure of the depth of the reef. We stayed about 100 yards off the sandy beach and put down our anchor. We were far enough out and in shallow enough water that our anchor hit the sandy bottom of the sea and didn't harm any of the living coral. We prepared for the night and were anxious to discover the land held for us the next day. Another part of the adventure was approaching fast. The next morning was bright and sunny with light trade winds. Captain Barry dove down and made sure the anchor was secure so our ride wouldn't drift off. We took a small bamboo canoe that we had tied to the port side of our cruiser and paddled ashore. We had food, water, a telescope, a non-working compass, and a big club in case something went wrong. As we approached the beach, we had a calm feeling. We weren't sure what we'd find, but it could have been dangerous. Maybe we weren't wanted and would be chased away. But the feeling was a welcoming one. Maybe this adventure wasn't meant to be scary. That's okay with me. I don't like scary. We dragged the canoe ashore and lashed it to a leaning palm tree. Just as quickly as we had done that, a tall, great blue heron came out of the brush and said, "Welcome, mateys." Yikes, we were shocked to hear that. Glad you two made it. We've been expecting you. What? We didn't even know we were coming here. Ever since our compass broke, we haven't even known where we were. What do you mean you knew we were coming? Asked Captain Barry. Oh, there's no secrets in the universe. Everything is out there all the time. My name is Lark. You're Captain Barry, and you're Jack Sprout. You're from Beaver Creek Meadow, one of our finest accomplishments, if I do say so myself. Where in the world are we? What's the name of this place? What do you do here? How do you know us? Will we make it back to Beaver Creek Meadow? Asked the captain. Take it easy, said Lark. Sit down on that driftwood and listen. I'm the guide here. I'll tell you what I can. You will never know everything, but that's the fun in living, right? We are the center of the universe. We just call this place the center. We watch how nature is born, help it when we can, and spread our knowledge with the rest of the planet. The seabirds told us you were coming. I know the beavers started Beaver Creek Meadow, but we've helped a lot too. Your community is one of the best on the planet. You work together with nature well, and things are going great. There's a lot of things you'll need to learn to know on the horizon, but I'll tell you about them before you go back. We're proud of what you've accomplished there. We use you as an example for other communities. Keep up the
Jack,
good work.
Jack, I just realized the time. We're out of time.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Now, I find it fascinating that you used a lot of nautical terms in that nautical miles, a lot of other terms in there that are connected only if one would be on the water. Was that all intentional, just to teach?
Oh, yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, that's they're on the ocean. So, okay, so I'm going to mark where I left.
So, final question here. Jack Sprout things are great in the meadow, but he wasn't satisfied. He wanted more. Without giving it away, does he realize that the grass isn't always greener on the other side?
No, it is greener.
It is green. Okay, leave it at that.
Yeah, it's a lot greener.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, because Beaver Creek is now, it's going to be better.
Gotcha. And we'll see why and how next time we get together.
Okay.
Telling everybody jacksprout.com is the place to learn more about the original book, and a lot of details there. And again, for educators, for parents, you're connected to a library. This is it. This is the way books should be, with lessons, a great story, and these are real characters, i.e. real animals. Okay, so Jack Sprout, well, technically he could be real in terms of what he is, the seed that sprouts. But, from the hawk to the rabbit to everything that's going on there, these are real animals and real great lessons. What's the name of the book that you're reading now that hasn't been published yet?
A New Look into an Old World.
I got it. Okay, great. Thank you for today. Very insightful, and I feel like I'm on the water with everybody.
Yeah, you are.
It's very cool. All right, Jack. We'll catch up next time.
All right, thanks.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.